Rogers was criticized all his life for being sort of somehow, too basic, all he does is reflect. And well, we reflect 1,000 times more than he does. I'm not even sure Rogers would like my take, but that's a total misunderstanding of what he was doing. And the way I understand it is you order someone's experience, and if you think of other people who do this, really good doctors do this.
Mm-hmm.
Dentists do it. A good dentist doesn't just walk in and say, open your mouth and be quiet and, deal with whatever's happening. A good dentist says, hi, how you doing? Oh, well, we're just going to do a little filling. Yeah. And, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to, and this is how it's going to feel. And then and what is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, in terms of making money, he'd be faster. He's a good dentist. So what is he doing? He's saying, this is the reality this is how I'm ordering what's going to happen. I'm making it predictable. I'm showing it to you. You can stay here with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what doctors do. And bad doctors don't. They just say, I'm the expert, do what you're told. And then the patient says, no, I'm not going to take my meds. No, I'm not going to. No, I'm right. And then the doctor says, well, difficult patients. Well, no, good leaders do it.
Mm-hmm.
And more securely attacked. The research on in the Israeli army that Mika Lancer did, where he looked at the leaders who took young recruits through the difficult trainings and the young recruits turned into a team and they learned the skills and they did not have breakdowns and they did not quit the army. What was different about those men?
Mm-hmm.
They were secures. They were able to listen to their men, support them. And my fantasy is if you went in and watched them when they told their men to do difficult, scary things, they would order that experience. They'd say, lots of people find this difficult. This is scary. Of course it is. And and this is what usually happens. And this is how you might feel. And let's talk about how you're feeling right now. And that isn't woo-woo, sloppy, feminine,
No, it's
bullshit.
not.
That is efficient.
That's right.
And, when we teach Hold Me Tight to Navy SEALs, we don't have any problem. Wow. Because, we don't have any problem because the bottom line is they can be trained as a Navy SEAL, but I know who you are. You're an attaching, emotional mammal, and that's the truth. And, you might have honed your shutdown, but I'm coming for you with, reflection and my sense of creating safety and my validation.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no problem. And I think that's very interesting and we have no problem cross-culturally. We see the same thing in Iranian clients and Egyptian clients and Finnish clients and Australian clients, and we're all wired in a certain way.
Yeah. And Sue, I love what you're saying. Even when you talk about that dentist, if you go to, like you said, a good dentist, they're going to talk you through it. Make sure like, I've got the process. I can hold you. And even if they're working on you and your body winces a little bit, they catch it and they reflect it like, I just noticed that your body kind of winces. Does that mean
That's
you're
right? They
right
join
now?
you. They're with you.
Yeah.
Somebody who isn't a good dentist is doing something to you.
Ooh.
Right? And then you're an object. And everyone reacts slightly differently to that.
Mm-hmm.
I either go into my head and ask 1,000 questions, which really ticks people like dentists off, or I get assertive because you're not seeing me. I went to a doctor many months ago who kept telling me that I was a woman over 60. Well, the fifth time he said that, I was about ready to plow him. Okay. And because it's, excuse me, like, what you mean is I'm a slot on a computer slide that you learned in medical school, a few years ago. I'm in this category. excuse me, so what did I end up saying? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take the drug that you're suggesting. Well, he was flawed. He said, what do you mean? This is a regular drug. It's no big deal. I said, I know. I didn't say, I don't trust you. But I basically said, thank you so much. I will get a second opinion, because my experience was he didn't see me. He wasn't with me. He wasn't listening. He didn't want to answer my questions. He didn't. No, I'm not gonna follow you.
That's right.
When you don't create any safety or you don't see me. No, that's not reasonable. But sometimes in therapy, I think the old idea of therapy was that the therapist was magic. Our field has been full of male gurus, wizards, magicians, and who magically unlock the client. I don't like that. It makes us into something I don't think we are, and it makes the client into somebody who's going to be kind of led by the nose. No. It's about joining somebody with somebody, and the therapist learns too.
The value of what you're saying is being present and the felt sense. So many clinicians that come in start cognitively. And I would love to hear your insight on, as you describe the difference between a doctor who's going through the steps systematically or even, pragmatically in their head versus the one who is doing the same steps, but with the feeling involved. How do we join and help therapists that we're helping them hone their skills, make that shift from the thing they're learning cognitively to do to the thing they're now. It's almost like you have to be fluid between the cognition and the feeling, because they're doing a cognitive thing, but also having to feel it. What is your suggestion on making that leap for new people who are still in their heads, still stuck in their, education brain?
Well, you can answer that on lots of different levels. I mean, one level is that, and psychology and clinical work has been part of this. One level is that we've taught people that their emotions are their enemy and that you should control them. And this is a cultural thing. This is a lot of messages. Not just men are told this, women are told this too. And so people don't have names for their emotions. They don't have a way of ordering their emotions. They live in relationships where they're taught to put them aside. Our idea of strength. If you look in psychology and culture, our idea of strength has been that somebody who can just walk past their emotions and act like they don't exist. Well, and this is in our culture, in the way we condition our children, in the way we talk to each other, and we do something, or, I think good therapists all do this on some level, right? Good therapists do something that, not just in EFT, that is different than that. Good therapists say, your emotions are your friend. They're a compass. They are, they give you powerful, compelling messages that your prefrontal cortex doesn't put together. And yes, they can be scary because they're very strong and they're very fast. But if you try to live without them, you're lost. And you can't tell someone that. So, which is why when we do our trainings, we do exercises. I say to people, if you want to know about EFT, go and look at Hold Me Tight. Well, why? Because get to know your own emotions. If you want to know what it's like to do Move 3 of the Tango, the most basic exercise I do these days is I don't start by talking about it. I say, go inside your head, you go inside your body, think about an attachment, think about a fear, think about an attachment figure. Now imagine yourself telling this attachment figure, what does the attachment figure say? How do you feel? I'm saying, experience this. But to do that, you have to have a way of seeing people. You have to, I have to believe what I'm telling you, which is living in the way that where you're shut down, you shut your emotions down. Of course, it can be useful in certain situations, but in general, you can't be alive that way. Yep. You can't. If you try to live that way, the cost is incredible, phenomenal, and you know, we're at the point in our world where the World Health Organization is talking about depression as the most significant problem. There's something wrong with this. You know, I mean, how come? You know, well, because many of us live lives cut off from other people and cut off from our emotions, and numbing out is no way to live. If a therapist doesn't have a way of understanding emotion and understanding how relational we are and understanding how people put their emotions together and how that translates into patterns of interaction, and how patterns of interaction translate into your emotional life and the way you see yourself. If that's all gobbledygook for the therapist, and the therapist's been taught, you go in and you give insight and you give people behavioral instructions, I have no, and I do that for myself.
Yeah.
I have no way of tuning into a client.
That's
right. Tuning in is, you know, it's what Rogers basically was trying to teach. He's saying, tune into people. You know, don't label them and pathologize them, tune into them. To be honest, it's still what you're asking. I don't have the simple, complete answer to that. How do we teach people to tune in? Well, they have to tune into themselves.
There you go. That's right.
They have to feel that it's safe and okay to tune in. That if they're saying this is pathetic, they have to feel safe with whoever's asking them to tune in. They have to see the effects of tuning in. But, you know, culture comes in, and how safe you are in your culture comes in.
Yeah.
Because for some people, to tune into their emotions is to tune into terror and anxiety, and all that's waiting there for them is chaos and overwhelm. And so you have to start where they are. And the other issue is you have to go at the pace of that the client gives you, not your pace. But
well,
anyway.
I want to say, Sue, though, thank you, though. Like, and that's the part, you know, if I just want to be so transparent about part of what's important to this for me is look at how, even as long as you've been doing this for Sue, as long as you've been doing this, that we ask you simple questions you've probably answered 1 million times in your career. And somehow your attachment system still lights up for the people who are learning EFT and for their clients that they serve. We ask you these questions, and Sue Johnson probably knows more about attachment theory and clinical practice than I'm going to forget, you know, ever in my lifetime. But to still see you light up and go to these stories and these experiences and to let joy come through your heart, that's something that they will understand about you, Sue, from reading a book. So, you know, give people their flowers while they can yet see them, so that they can see the beauty that they bring.
Yes.
And so I think it's just so beautiful that I feel like, you know, I want the listeners to capture your words. And even now it's not just your words, Sue. I hope they see your heart.
That's very nice of you. But, you know, I am emotionally focused. And so I believe in heart. And I think we talk a lot about in psychotherapy at words like integration. We use these academic words. You know, I'm not in academia anymore, but I was for years and years and years. And we use these big academic words. And for me, I think I care about psychotherapy. I think it's important. I think it's fascinating, still fascinates me. And for me, I just feel like we've got to the place where so many of us somehow leave emotion on the shelf with it. And that's insane. Emotion is so powerful. It's the biggest way we can create change. It's the natural way to create change. You know, I think EFT works so well because I don't like this word, but I can't. It's organic. It takes the way people are wired and uses that to create change. It doesn't say you're wired this way, now do something else. It's you're wired this way. Let's go into that, and it uses, you know, people's longing to create change. It orders people's experience so they can tolerate it and move through into it and through it. It's a particular way of seeing, and
Yeah.
It still turns me on. That's the truth.
That's great. And I just want you to know too, that's like, this is probably part, and even for us at Success and Vulnerability, it's not about going and doing something separate. Just what you did. I think we want to find so many ways where we can keep carrying this message forward, help people to know about attachment theory, validating their emotion. And then we want to connect with, more clinicians to say, hey, here's a way that it will transform the way you work with people. And what I think that was so good for you to say today to help other clinicians, it's not even just what you do for your clients. If we believe in attachment in our clients, the only way you can see their attachment and work with it is through your own attachment. And so I think that's something that I'm seeing so much in the trainings when we do different exercises. Sometimes if they haven't gone to these places in themselves and we ask them to go and let their clients experience to impact them, their body freezes sometimes too. And it's okay. We meet them there and we do the same thing we would do with our clients.
So I have to go now, James.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go, Sue. Thank you so much.
It's been incredible fun. And thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Me, and lovely to be with you. Okay. Take care, guys. I'm going to go.
Sue.
And I hope this was useful for people.
It will be.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, Sue.
Bye.